I think I'm ready. I should be ready. Ooh, okay. Into drive. Okay, pedal to the metal. Oh my God! Oh Jesus, this thing. Oh! Woo! Ow! The 2021 Mercedes GLS 63 AMG. It is one of the most expensive three-row SUVs. It is one of the fastest three-row SUVs in the market. We're very lucky to enjoy such machine because who wants a 600 horsepower three-row SUV? I mean, this thing in Canada starts at $160,000 Canadian. That would be the same price for a parking spot somewhere downtown Toronto, hopefully. The GLS, it's probably one of the most exciting three-row SUVs in the market. Yes, there is the BMW X7 50iM, very powerful machine, but nothing can get close to this car. I do a lot of three-row SUVs, from the lowest price you can find from the Subaru Ascent all the way to Kia Telluride and the rest of them. But this has left me completely astonished to what Mercedes is giving customers. This machine, it is insane, and that's what I want to show you for today's video. Special thanks for this video goes to our good friends at Performance Mercedes, a Mercedes dealership located in St. Catherine, Ontario, Canada, and specifically Kyle for allowing me to borrow this and show you what it's all about. If you want to know more about them, the link will be in the description box. If you want to reach out, maybe take this monster for a test drive, everything will be in the description box. But first, let's start reviewing this on the exterior and let me show you the cool features, and then we're going to take it for a test drive. Mercedes puts their AMG badge in quite a lot of cars, even lower trims like the E53s, the small vehicles. But in this case, the badge in here means something. It means business. You know, if you see an AMG 63, whether it's a coupe or a GLE, it's a powerful machine. And it starts with the exterior. So let me give you a quick tour. Look at the massive wheels in the front. Like, this thing is huge. The vehicle is big, but look at the size of the actual wheel. And on top of that, the brake calipers. We have beautiful AMG brake calipers in front because you're technically allowed to take this on a track, and I'm going to get into detail about that in a minute. And of course, we have the rotors, which are drilled for better performance. The front end of this vehicle is insane. To be able to provide a lot of air to the engine, you need to be able to actually get that air inside. And what they have done in here, look at the space from that side to here. And then on top of that, the grille itself, in this model specifically, it's huge. So don't complain much about the BMW X7 because Mercedes seems to follow the same pattern. On top of that, we have the emblem in the front for the Mercedes GLS. One thing I love about this car are the headlights, specifically the daylight running lights. They're technically not white. They're in a mix of blue and white together. Even when they're off, you can still see the glass around it. Beautiful design. On top of that, we have two major headlights in the front, and then we have one on the side. But if you get closer to the headlight, the LED headlights on the right side, it has these blue lines around it, which are used for the specific technology that is used in this type of headlight. The Mercedes GLS 63 offers a V8 bi-turbo, makes 603 horsepower. It is equipped with an all-wheel drive system, and of course, an automatic transmission, 9-speed. But this beast makes 603 brake horsepower. It will do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. That is as fast as a BMW M3, an old M5, let's say the M5 F10, as quick as the F10 M5. I mean, why would you need 603 brake horsepower in a three-row SUV? This beast is not just powerful, it's also very convenient. It is a three-row SUV at the end of the day. So for example, you have an air ride suspension system, which of course you can set it to lower the vehicle for easy entry. And on top of that, it has a step-in side, something that in some vehicles, some three-row SUVs, you have to purchase separately. This is added to the GLS 63 AMG. To make your life easy, of course, this thing offers the soft closing option, so you don't actually have to slam it. Because in some countries, like Switzerland, you can get a ticket for slamming your door. So if you live in Switzerland, you need one of this. At the end of the day, this is a 3-row SUV. But Mercedes wants to make your life easy when you try to get into the 3rd row, or if you want to use it for your children or some elderly person. This thing is pretty amazing. In order for you to fold this seat, what you can do, press this button located on top, and now both seats in the center fold, so that way you get access to the 3rd row. The 3rd row in this vehicle, it's comfortable. I might not say it's the same as the 2nd row, not as comfortable, but you still get some space. At the end of the day, you're going to use this for your children, not necessarily for adults. But if you have someone that is under 6 foot, you'll be fine. What they have done in the back, though, they haven't left it out. You have the nice suede on the actual leather, the leather seats, you know, to give you an impression that you're still in an AMG car. On top of that, you get some convenience features. So for example, on the sides here, you have a button for the seat in front of you. So if you're annoyed by the person in front, you just press that button, and there you go. Now you get access to the other side, and you get more access to the front area. So if you want to come out, you don't have to wait for the person in front of you. The disappointing part in the back, though, I might say, is the fact that they don't offer any climate units for the 3rd row, something that you find in the BMW X7. And of course, you don't get any sunroof in here, so the only thing you're left with is the front panoramic roof. If you want to fold the 3rd row seats, you don't have to go around the vehicle. Mercedes has made your life pretty easy on this. What you can do, you have 2 buttons over here, just pull them, hold them, and they will fold. And of course, to put them back up, what you do is just press them again, and here you go. If you fold the 2nd row seat, what's going to happen is that the front seat will move forward as well. So if you press the button here, as you can see, the headrest lowered itself, and then the front seat also is moving to give you more space. In the 2nd row, you have quite a lot of features. So for example, we have an automatic sunshade. So you have a button in here, and it basically lowers. So you don't have to do it manually. Why would you? On top of that, we have heated seats in the 2nd row. If you feel cold during those winter cold days, you have a button located onto the side. Of course, Mercedes design, they don't have to bother putting them around here. You put it right on the door for easy access. On top of that, the control unit for the seats, similar to the front, is not located around here or around there. That's a lot of hard work for you. It's right around this area. So you can push it forward, or you can basically operate the recliner or the seats, even the headrest. And it also offers a dual climate unit in the back for the passenger on the right or yourself on the left. And it's controlled around this area. Being a 63 AMG, of course, you get twin exhaust on each side, and they're not actually fake completely. You get 2 twin exhausts. So if you look inside carefully, there are 2 pipes on each side. In case if you want to use this for towing, well, don't worry, because you're covered. This monster can tow up to 3,500 kilograms. That's quite a lot for a 3-row SUV. Now, in the back, you have, of course, the power tailgate. You can do it through remote control, hands-free, or just press the button under, and then now you have access to the rear end. The problem is that with 3-row SUVs, you tend to have less cargo space because you need to fit the 3rd row. But you can fold the seats in the 3rd row. Mercedes have made your life easy with that. You have buttons located onto this side where you can just fold all 4 of them. And then you can do 2 left or the 2 right. And then you have access onto this area for the 3rd row and left and right. On top of that, if you want to lower the vehicle, you have this button over here, so that way you have access to this area. Since this vehicle is not equipped with the spare tire, Mercedes has given you more space. So if you open this, look at the back, how much space you get to hide pretty much everything if you're trying to hide something from your kids or something that you don't want people to see. Hopefully it's not anything illegal. In case if your passenger is too lazy to turn off its seat after leaving the vehicle, well, don't worry, because Mercedes has thought about that too. You have a button over here on this side that you turn it on, and basically you can turn on the ventilated seats for the passenger or the heated seats, in case if that person wants you to do the work for them. And of course, they've thought about the rear seats as well. If someone forgot the sunshades on the rear, you can lower or raise them straight from here, and you have two buttons for the left and the right side. Now let's talk about this area, and what I do suggest you to do is to grab some popcorn, because there are a lot of features in this car. The first thing you notice once you get in is the massive screen from left and right. The left side is of course the cluster, and on the right side we have the infotainment system. Huge screen. Most important thing about this car is the design. It is probably one of the most luxurious three-row SUVs I've been into. This thing offers so much for the money, and it makes your life so much easier too, with a lot of features. Now, the first thing that I love about this is, of course, the steering wheel, something that you rarely see in three-row SUVs. You have a performance steering wheel with beautiful grippy sides, and of course the flap button, and then of course you have the AMG badge. The next thing I love about this vehicle is the cluster. It's one of my favorite clusters out there, and I'll tell you why. You can change the actual setting with the touch button located onto the steering wheel. So easy to use, and of course you can change different information, whatever you want to see in here. Tire pressure. This looks like a gaming display. It looks like one of those Need for Speed style where you change the design of the car right from the steering wheel. In that case, will be the remote control. On top of that, you have the option to change the layout for the actual cluster, and we have quite a lot. So you have Classic. Takes a bit of time to switch into Classic, which shows you the needed information such as your speed, the RPM, and so on. And you have your G-force as well. And then the next one is the Sport version, which is one of my favorite designs because of the colors and the way they have put the design together. So what happens in here, it changes mostly the color because it's very similar to the previous Classic design. On top of that, we have more than just one design to make it interesting. And then the next one is the Super Sport, which shows you quite a lot of information because you need it in a three-row SUV. Now, when I said previously that this thing is quite a beast, I meant that. And here's one icon that shows you how crazy this three-row SUV is. It has a track pace. So if you ever want to take the entire family to the track, you can do so, and you can of course keep all the information in the car. So in here we have the track pace. It will find a track for you to take the three-row SUV. I mean, where do you find that kind of option? I'm going, honey, I'm going to take the kids and I'm going for a drag race, or I'm taking them to a track day. Like, who thought of this? It was a genius and needs a raise. You have a drag telemeter. Like, how insane is this? You can basically do a drag race with this car, of course, in legally allowed places. You have telemetry because you need to know how fast you're going and how good is your car. You need all this information in a three-row SUV. There's also a track pace app that you can download and get all the information. In here you can change the heads-up display to make it more performance looking. And of course we have statistics as if you're tracking the stock market. And then we have the ambient lighting. So if you're taking this to a track, it will change the colors based on how fast you're going and so on. I mean, whoever thought about such an amazing feature that I don't know if it's actually useful. And then in here you can search for your track and you can add your own track, and you also have the other tracks around that you probably took it, or you can take import, or you have import tracks, so you can actually import a track of the vehicle. In this case, we have a bunch of them. The AMG Speedway, I'm assuming those are all, this one is in Italy, the Monza, and then the rest of them. So if you ever want to take this to Europe and go crazy, you can also order this vehicle in Europe. You can drive it around Europe and then we'll ship it back to Canada. Once you get to the track, you have a bunch of performance settings you can change, and this vehicle will show you a lot of them. So now we have the G-force, then we have downhill and uphill assist, and then we have the engine, how well it performs, and the horsepower. So besides the fact that you have it in the cluster, you also have it in here. You have your brake horsepower and the torque. And then we have the consumption, which we don't want to talk about it because it will give you a headache. And then we have the dynamic select. In here, you can individually configure the vehicle. And we have more settings on the engine side. And then we have more settings on the vehicle. And then in here, you can see quite a lot of information about the suspension system, how fast the vehicle is going, and so on. And then you have it in full screen if the rest of the icons bother you. I mean, who thought of all this stuff in one 3-row SUV? Will you ever use this? Will you ever take your kids to the track? Maybe. I would. There's a lot of things in this car that make it very tempting to take it to a track. And with that 600 horsepower engine under the hood, it's quite impressive. Now, similar to your phone, you can have quick access icons. So for example, we have the parking sensors for easy access. We have the lane assist. We have the stop and go assist ready. And then we have a tow away protection. So if someone is towing your vehicle, if it breaks down, you just press that, and now it will turn on once the vehicle is ready for once the vehicle is ready for towing. And then you have heads-up display if you want to turn it on or turn it off. And then we have the downhill assist system, of course. And then we have the option for the lowering of the vehicle, since the vehicle is equipped with the air suspension system when you get off. And then we have another feature, automatic car wash mode. So if you ever take this to a car wash, you can turn that on and all those settings and the speed will stay constant because the vehicle knows that you're taking it to a car wash. I mean, what else can they add? And of course they did add more, because if you go into the assistant, we have a lot more features. First of all, it has the self-parking mode. You can change the settings here for the camera, for the parking. Then we have the traffic sign assist. So basically it reads the traffic signs on the road, and then the active lane keep assist. And once we take it on a highway, we're going to test it out. And the active brake assist. So this is basically keeping the distance with the vehicle in front of you. Then we have attention assist, traffic light view. It also reads the traffic lights from your map. Just keep that in mind. And of course the standard active blind spot assist, active lane change assist, and route-based speed. So, you know, in most vehicles you get heated seats. In here it goes a bit further than that. So as you can see, it heats the side panel and the center panel. And then you have, for the passenger, rear left, rear right. So you can turn it off, turn it on anytime. How insane is this vehicle? Then we have the belt adjustment. You know, in most vehicles they have this feature. This you can turn it on or turn it off in there. And then we have acoustic lock. So if you don't want the noise to bother you when you lock the vehicle, you can turn it on or turn it off. We have automatic door lock, very standard in other vehicles, and of course the automatic folding. Then we have the gas station, so you can look for a gas station if your vehicle is running out, which will happen quite often since this vehicle burns a lot of gas. The vehicle is equipped with Linguatronic, which is a voice activation. So for example, you can say, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Find me a McDonald's."
What do you want to do?
It's too hot inside.
I'm reducing the temperature to 22 degrees.
Like, who thought of this? This is the most insane car I have ever been into. It has so many settings that you would need, again, a full day. And there is so many other features. Speak during voice output. So every time the voice control is talking, you can speak and it won't actually affect your command. it's just insane how much this car offers. Then we have the audio system, which of course it is the next level, and you can change that setting for everything from the entertainment. You can change from the equalizer, balance, and so on. And then we have VIP seats. So in this mode, basically, it will change and optimize the sounds around, because this thing has a very expensive audio system. Now, on top of that, you can do sound profiles from pure, 3D, live, and easy listening. In case if you have a hot coffee or something cold during summertime, well, don't worry about it, because what you can do is just basically put your cup in here, and then there is this button where for that mode, it basically cools down the actual drink, and then for this mode, it will keep it warm. So the red one is for warm, and the cold one is for cold. So that way your coffee does not get cold during wintertime. The features on this car are endless, and it will take days to go through every single one. I was able to show you the major ones, the ones that make a huge difference for that price, and that is very important. The next thing is, how does this thing drive and how quiet it is inside? We're going to take it for a test drive. I'm going to show you how good this thing is on the road, how quick it is, and of course, how comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you need comfort in a $160,000 vehicle. So, let's go for a drive. This car, it's ridiculous. 3-row SUV ready to drag race performance cars like an M3 or any performance car. You could take this. I've driven quite a lot of high performance vehicles, but not something that is a 3-row SUV. Like, it's so good. It's so good. You just can't find anything that can beat this. I've driven the X7, I've driven standard SUVs, high performance Mercedes, but like in a 3-row SUV, we are experiencing the most insane cars that humanity could make at this point. These things are very practical, very comfortable, high performance. What else do you want? Nothing else. Oh my God. And here's the crazy part. I'm driving it, but in my mind, I don't think this is actually a 3-row SUV. I feel like just a normal standard SUV. It is so comfortable. The suspension system in this vehicle is so comfortable. It's an amazing experience to be able to drive something like this, in my opinion. It's an amazing car for the price. Yes, it is expensive. I'm sure I could never afford this, new, for example, but anyone that would want a 3-row SUV. And here's the crazy part. Now there's something on in here that I'm talking and it's resonating. It's the actual audio system, so that way you don't have to raise your voice. Everybody can hear you. Like, that's just, as you saw, the amount of technology that you can find in this car, it's insane. Oh, mama. Oh my God, this car is ridiculous. Okay, let's change into individual. We're gonna put it into individual. Here we go. We have it in individual. We don't want to go too crazy, just normal. Let's check the cabin noise in this car at 100 kilometers an hour. Let's turn this on. I will bet you that it's so quiet inside. 63.2, and that is very good. Here's why. It's a windy day. We're doing 100 kilometers an hour, very busy traffic, lots of trucks around this area. 63.2, that is very impressive. Let's try the cruise control on. Here we go. Set the speed 100 kilometers an hour, and we are set. It's literally driving itself. It's recognizing the lines, and it's just doing the job for you. It's keeping you within the lanes. It's extremely, extremely precise. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, of course, at all the time. Legally, you're supposed to. I have nothing else to say about this car. I have nothing that I don't like about it. It's just perfect, in my opinion. Mercedes has made a beast of a three-row SUV. We're experiencing, again, one of the most advanced three-row SUVs at this point. It is quick, it is comfortable. The air suspension system feels like a butter. You can actually see it from the rolling shots we did. The car just bounces up and down, and you don't even feel it. Like, that is quite impressive, in my opinion. And you can still take this to a track with your family. Like, you can't beat that. You just can't beat it. I just don't know if there's anything else out there. I love this thing. It's quick. It's really quick for a three-row SUV. And I've driven even the X750i. This thing can go pretty fast. It just depends where you take it. I mean, I don't suggest you do it in public roads. That was it for today's, guys. Thank you for watching. And always don't forget to subscribe. And special thanks goes to Kyle from Performance Mercedes for allowing me to borrow this and show you what it's all about. This car, it is unbelievable. It's such an amazing vehicle, but it is expensive. That is for sure. You get what you pay for. It's a product that is worth the money. You get performance, you get space, you get everything in once. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and stay safe. This thing is so good. It's so good.